Hey y'all. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Unscripted Beautiful Life. The suspense is there. Pew.
Say what?
Making it slow. So just drag it out a little bit. Make the suspense.
Hey y'all.
Hope everybody's day was good. If not, let's make it a better day tomorrow. That's it.
I was trying to share. It was giving me issues. Okay. Good
We're
evening,
in.
y'all. Welcome to An Unscripted Beautiful Life. Tonight we are talking about um the power of your words, those spoken and those unspoken. What that mean?
Man. So a lot of times um we speak out or we speak up for ourselves, and sometimes that could be detrimental to us. Um, Sometimes not speaking at all and not speaking up for yourself can also be detrimental to you. So it's trying to find that sweet spot. But I will always say, always speak up for yourself, advocate for yourself, because who's going to advocate for you? Nobody. So we all like I say, Trina always calls me, or I call her, and more times she calls me because as soon as she got to work, she gives me a call, and then we try to figure out what. Oh dang man, I think and we try to figure out a topic. And a lot of times for me, I try to pick a topic or something that might have went on throughout my day, and but this one has been going on for a while. What was the word I used, babe?
Assumptions.
Assumptions. Yes, I for some reason I always forget that because I forgot it earlier. So when we don't speak up and speak out for ourselves, we leave it to the persons or person to assume. And a lot of times when we start assuming, we assume completely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We assume the complete opposite what was really going on. So I said, well, babe, let's do something on our words and assumptions and things. And this kind of just kind of all tied together. Um,
Because
some
I think,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, I
I'm
didn't mean
sorry.
to cut you
No,
off,
you're
but I
good.
think why it seems to when we don't say what needs to be said, right? As you mentioned, it leaves the potential for an assumption to be made on either part, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
The other person is thinking, oh, well, they didn't say this, so this is what I'm going to think, right? And we sometimes think, well, because if I say this, like sometimes we can play the whole conversation in our head without even having a conversation. And then once we have the conversation, it turns out like nothing
Nope.
that we had. And so, when we talked about communicate, we've talked about communication a lot. Like communication is a big thing in any relationship, whether it's marriage, friendships, family, everything,
Everything.
work, right?
Yeah.
It's important that we are communicating because you don't want people to make assumptions, right? But what I was thinking about was how many times have we heard a thought, right? Somebody says something, and then all of a sudden we sit on that thought and we start going down
Whew.
the whole list,
What they call
right?
it, the rabbit hole, right?
Of, well, they said this. Did they mean this? And then we start internalizing it. We start thinking one little statement, that statement has to deal with that worth,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
because maybe somebody said, like, hey, you can't do this way, right?
Right. Right.
So we start internalizing it. Well, what do they mean I can't do it this way? Like I've been doing it this way. Or, somebody leaves you a negative feedback. Like if you're at work, right? It's when we're doing evaluation time, right?
It's that time.
It's right. Somebody might say something and it may be a valid comment, But sometimes I think because maybe our own insecurities, we start going down the rabbit hole and we start now taking that valid constructive
Mm-hmm.
feedback as, oh, I'm worth nothing, I can't do my job, I can't do this, I can't do that, versus receiving the comment
Mm-hmm.
and saying, okay, how can I improve, right, in the area that they're giving me the comment in.
Right. So that's kind of where you sit back and you make your own observation and evaluation of yourself. We don't well, I won't say we don't do that because some of us do it and then we so critical on ourselves.
Very critical.
And then when you see someone else give you an evaluation, I know I do it all the time. You're like, well, why you give yourself such a negative light of things? And I'll kind of tell you where I think this it might have stemmed from for me. Growing up, my dad recorded all of our games, and one thing I love watching, which most people do, you like watching your good plays. You don't watch your bad plays. Who does that? So you watch all your good plays. But my dad was like, "Well, you already knew what you did good right there. Well, why would you need to watch that? You need to watch the plays where you made your mistakes to learn how to fix those." And when I got to college, we had to grade ourselves in a point system, and I would always have the lowest points. I might have had the best game, but I was always have the lowest points. And my coach came to me and he said, "Dre, why do you always have the lowest points when you had a tackle for a loss, you had a sack?" I said, "Cuz coach, I grade myself on my negative plays and not my positive plays. So I don't give myself any points for my positive." He was like,
Mhm.
"Why?" I said, "Because it was just something that was instilled in me when I was a kid." When I broke it down to him, do you know he changed the system? Started making people grade themselves only on their bad plays. But to me, it helped out the situation because it wasn't just like the D line, it was the whole defense. So
Mhm.
it helped out the defense and all, and then we literally ended up going undefeated. But that doesn't always work for everybody. So me making that point is that you have to see what works for you because
Right.
what works for me may not work for you. Like you might get in there, not you, but just in general saying, you might get in there and be like, man, I don't want to even look at my negative. I don't want to look at nothing negative. And so then you score yourself or grade yourself on your positive. But at the end of the day, when we sit here and we do these things, we tell you what works for us. And of course, by all means, try it. If it doesn't work, you can always try something else. And that's the awesome and great thing about life is that one thing don't work, don't ever give up. Keep trying. Let's see what really works for you. Because I always tell my kids this: you only become a loser is when you quit. That's the only time that, in my opinion, that's when you just quit and you're like, man, I can't do this. You beat yourself up and and then you just quit. That's when that L becomes you become that loser. But when L is for lessons, because we always learn from lessons. We should learn from lessons. That's why I say, man, that's the great thing about free will. Great thing about this great earth that God gave us to live on. Got that? You have that choice. Excuse me. All right.
You good?
Yeah, just indigestion. You know how
um
you be.
so when we think about um the power of words, right, there's the ones that are said and then there's the ones that aren't spoken. And so we talk about when we don't say, people are likely to, we do make assumptions. We're human, right? We're going to make assumptions without
Hmm.
um
Really recognizing it.
without even
Yeah.
recognizing it. Sometimes it just happens and you're like, man, why was I and then when you have the conversation, you're like, I was worried and stressed out for nothing. Like it again, when our thoughts and our words are internalized, we literally, it's like a movie that flashes in our mind. And you just go back and you reflect and you start thinking about this thought, that thought, this thought, that. Well, if I say this, I say that. Then you start recalling all of the other events,
Mm-hmm.
and you like, oh, you start questioning, you start doubting. And
Yep.
that's at that moment when you really need to sit down and have a conversation with God. Because if that thought continuously keeps coming up, you got to ask yourself and ask
Wow.
God, what is it showing me? What is it
Mm-hmm.
telling me? Is there truth in this? Or is this the enemy or my own insecurities or my own false self belief, limiting beliefs coming into play?
For sure.
And then you say, okay, well, God, I have this thought, right? I'm thinking I can't do this and I can't do that. God, tell me the truth in that. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
already know when it comes to limiting beliefs that the perceived flaws exercise that I do um at the conferences and things like that. And so that stands true in everything that we have. What's the truth in that thought? Is it true? Or is it just an assumption that we made, somebody's label that they put on us that makes us hold on to that, and that's the thing we carry forward? Like how many how many thoughts, or how many what's the word I'm looking for, um labels,
Oh,
right, or limiting beliefs that you've picked up from your past and you're still
you
carrying
still
them
holding
with
on.
you.
You still holding on.
So that's when it becomes really important to really, like, if you have those negative thoughts and they keep coming back and they keep coming back and you keep coming back, you got to be like, hey, time out. It's time that I deal with this. If not, the cycle
It's
are
gonna
always
continue.
going to continue.
Yep.
Then all of a sudden, the negative thought you have, you could put on your children, you can put on your spouse, and then before you know it, now you're looking at a generational curse.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
All the
so
time.
it's just important. Like, you got to nip it in the bud and be like, okay, if that recurring thought, limiting belief keeps coming up, you got to be like, flag on the play. It's time to sit down, God. What is your truth in this? How do you see me? Is this true?
Right.
Or is this just a limiting belief that I picked up from my past that is no longer true
Not
about
even
who I
true.
am at this time, right? Because sometimes people, give us the constructive feedback from long ago, but we've grown,
Yeah, and it's
right?
just stick with you.
We've got into alignment. We've learned, we've undone some things, and that label that we put on us is no longer valid. And that label, actually, the label wasn't even valid then,
Right.
but we were still carrying that limiting belief with us because of that.
But even if, let's just say,
Hey Tiff, hey beautiful.
even if it was true at that time, we all grow. So just as they say, yesterday's price is not today's price.
Right.
Yesterday's me is not today's me.
Hey
And
beautiful.
everyone in here that knows me from even 2 years ago, 3 years ago, knows that you're not the same person.
Right.
And as you were saying all this, babe, something else that also resonated with me was they used to tell us not to talk to ourselves because of what? They said it makes
Look
you
like you
crazy.
crazy. Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with talking to yourself. Oh my goodness, man.
And if y'all gonna sit up here and say y'all don't talk to yourself, y'all a lie.
Man, you better listen. If you don't, you better do it because all right. I don't remember who it was. I don't remember who said this, but I remember someone saying this at a conference, and they said that talking to themselves is like talking to God. So then you're not talking to yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, even if someone is sitting there talking to themselves, we don't know who they talking to. They could be sitting there honestly having a full-blown conversation with God. But we looking at the outside like, dang, that person crazy. Man, ain't nothing crazy about that person. We
Yeah.
crazy for labeling that person crazy.
That part.
Because
Tiff,
that
yeah, talk to myself all
all
the
the
time.
time. All the time, man. Like singing. Singing is, and you in the car by yourself, you in the shower. What you doing? You singing to yourself. You singing to God. Ain't this? It's nothing wrong with it, man. That's the that label that when you say that, babe, I said, oh, now I gotta bring this one up because again, man, I've heard this so many times growing up. Man, don't talk to yourself. That's crazy. But then they also said if you answer yourself, that make
I mean,
that
but
make,
in
but
a sense, you
no.
do answer yourself though, because sometimes, how many times have you really just started talking or having a conversation or praying, right? Because we could say prayers talking to
Yeah,
yourself,
man.
but you're directing the prayers up to
Mm-hmm.
right. But sometimes when you need to talk it out, nobody's there. So then what do? Right? So you're going into prayer and you're having a conversation with God and you're just waiting and you're listening. Like when you think about um the conversations with God, and like even if you're journaling,
Mm-hmm.
right? Sometimes that journaling, getting the thoughts out, is you talking
Talking,
to yourself, right?
it's no
Because
different.
you're trying to get it out of your mind and to get it in your head.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest thing is for us when it comes to communication, like do you can't make the assumptions. That's gonna bite you in the butt every
Every
time.
time you will lose every time
Yeah.
because again you make that you're making an assumption without even having any true clarity of what really transpired. And I try not to throw no names, but man, I always do it. I was trying to get my older brother to understand this, man. Don't leave people to make assumptions about something. So just be straight up, be straightforward. Like, listen, I can't do X, Y, and Z because of this. You know, I had someone tell me today, man, you got to say no. I know when to say no. I know when to say yes.
Hey, Daddy.
And most of the times, and Trina probably get mad at me because I say yes a lot. But my yeses, I just honestly feel like I'm that's what I'm here to do. You know, and we always talk about this pouring from an empty glass. I can't pour from empty glass. I don't feel like my glass is ever empty. I,
I
now,
pour from empty
now,
glasses.
now, I will say this because I think I said this the last time that we was on that I do have my moments and I had moments, but I still didn't feel like I was empty.
I think when you get to that point, there, although you know your yes is your yes, right?
Mhm.
I think if you ever got to the point when you like, I really don't have it anymore to be able to say yes, then you would say no.
I might explode.
But that, right,
but,
we're
but I don't want
trying
to
to
get to
keep you
that.
from getting
Yeah,
to that
yeah.
point. But that's the thing. It's like when we and to be able to effectively communicate, it's about setting the boundaries,
Ooh,
right? Because
ooh,
sometimes
ooh. And we
I've
don't do that.
with that part, but I've seen sometimes people won't have the conversations because sometimes the other person isn't emotionally available to have the conversation.
Now, let's ask this question. Are we making that assumption? Or did if we know,
So
if we had that conversation, yeah.
you could be
Yeah.
making the assumption, but if this is, the
Yeah.
person, you've been raised by the person, or you're in like serious relationship with this person, and so you know the ins and outs of how that person flows,
Mhm.
you may be able to um say, okay, based on my experience and my interaction with
Mhm.
this person at this time, at this point, I know they can't emotionally handle what I need to say.
Ooh.
And
Mhm.
sometimes we're right and sometimes we're wrong. But the key is, do you really know when you do you really know when you want do you know when to pull the card and be like, I don't care if they emotionally available or not. I got to get this out of me. And that's the key, right? Because I think sometimes we teeter-totty, we tiptoe around conversations that need to be had, but knowing deep down inside of us, it's tearing us up because we won't speak what needs to be spoken.
Hmm.
Because we're thinking, well, if I say this and I come out because they're not emotionally available, or they petty, or they always in their feelings, they got an attitude, da, 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 we won't say and speak our truth. And so now we're still carrying that
Carrying some burden.
heaviness
Yeah.
and that burden, when if we just had a conversation without thinking about how they're going to
Yeah.
receive it, it's kind of like, you know what, I got to get this off my chest. I have to speak my truth,
Hmm.
and I don't care how
How?
you feel
Right.
at this moment. It's like, do you care more about your freedom, or do you care about whether on how they're going to receive it?
And
Now, there's ways that you have to communicate and ways to say things. Like, if you always coming to somebody negatively, of course their guard is going to be up. So
yeah,
of course they're
always.
never going to be able to receive it.
Absolutely.
So there's ways you have to find the middle point of how to say it, so that the person on the other end doesn't feel as if you're being defensive. Because speaking our truth
Set you free.
can will set you free, but it also can cause uncomfortable conversations.
Yes. Yes. And then I mean, but then everything, like you said, with this unscripted thing, it circles back some type of way back to that you can't take it personal.
You cannot, but again, are you mature enough to understand that? Because how many times do we know some adults that can't
Yeah. Yeah.
hear something without taking it
Without taking
personal?
it personal. So then again, watch it circle back around again.
I
Time
know.
time to shake them leaves.
I know.
Time to
Yeah.
shake them leaves.
That's it.
Hey, and
But
it's so crazy how
it's
it's a
like it's
that's a life cycle.
rinse cycle repeat, rinse cycle repeat,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's a
Yeah.
continual process. You could be having conversation thoughts. I'm like, man, if I say this, I just know they're not going to be ready to hear what this I have to say. But if God is like, nope, you need to say it regardless of how you think they're going to receive it, then say it.
Just
Like
say it.
Tiff says, have the conversation. Have the conversation. What is wrong with my lips today? Have the conversation, but speaking in love. When you come at somebody in love, they have to
They gotta
receive it.
receive it. And if they don't, that's a leaf you got to let go.
That's a leaf you have to let
Because
go.
then you're gonna be carrying burden after burden after burden, because then this person you tiptoeing on ice with this person.
Daddy said he at this age he just kicked the door and it don't care. Listen,
Hey,
how many times have you seen the older folks
man,
and they just
I,
like
I work with them all the time.
go off on you, and you like, what in the what just happened here?
But I would say this: we got to get back to that.
Right,
We, we,
but I'm saying it's
but it's
like,
got to be in love.
it's almost like, okay, for me, right? I'm approaching 50. Lord, it hurts when I'm saying.
Woohoo! It don't hurt, babe. Don't
But
hurt. No, you don't look it.
thank you. But I just feel like, as I've looked at the growth, right? It's almost like where I was in my 20s, I wouldn't have all necessarily said something. Like, every year you age, you become a little bit more wiser.
Mm-hmm.
And as you get older, right, the emotional intelligence kicks in, you get the wisdom and all of that other stuff. You just realize, I don't care about your feelings right now.
Not
I
right
need to
now,
say what
because
needs
my
to be
feelings is
said.
important too.
That's the part we have to understand, that your feelings do matter. And how long do you want to walk around and act as if you don't matter?
Like, it's hard to walk on eggshells.
It
And we
is.
did that for 10 years.
We have.
We did that for 10 years.
But that's we keep losing, though. Is it? I
It's
don't
all
know.
right. It's all right. They trying to get to us, but we ain't gonna let it. We gonna
Hopefully y'all still with us.
Yeah, we gonna
But
keep it going.
that's the thing. It's like, when you really can lean into growth, and you look back and you like, hey, 10 years ago, 10 years ago, I would have never said that.
Might not
Right?
even never thought it, right?
Never even thought it. But you like, when you understand that your own personal freedom is so much more important than somebody else's feelings. One, my pastor, Deron's Cloud White, Jill Cloud, one of the things she kept emphasizing with us was, is it what did she say? Something over point. Oh, not perspective over point. Tiff, what did Jill say? Um, something about wanting to be right. Now, what did she say? It was just in my mind before I lost it. It's gonna come. I'm gonna hit it. It's gonna come back. I'll come back to that point.
See, do you know how we do? We're gonna circle back around
Yeah, I
to
know. It
it.
was. It was because I just. Is it? It wasn't perspective over point. I don't know. Maybe it's in my notes. All right, you talk. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
So if it is respectable point,
It's not. It's
it's
not
not
perspective. That's how I know that.
okay. But what I'm not even gonna try to see what she's trying to mean because then I'm gonna be all off
Go ahead.
topic.
No, no, skip that. We'll come back to it.
Um, but yeah, so just going back to that whole shaking off the leaves and you matter. A lot of times we always put people before us. I say this, we put our kids before us. We put everybody else before yourself. And we gotta get back to that, to loving self.
Mm-hmm.
And not just, you know, go and go get your nails done, doing getting haircuts or these things. Like that, those things are great. But we have to get back to our mental. We got to get back to our mental strength to where we can all grow together. And it's so crazy. It's like we sit here and argue with what, you know, and to where we could just insure love into each other
Mm-hmm.
and see how that works. You know, because I don't, man, I'm going all over the place with this one, baby, because I'm starting talking about the news, man, and I'm starting to look at some of the stuff that's going on, and I don't like the news because it's a lot of negative stuff that's always showed on the news, but it's in the world is so much more positive that we could show. But for some reason, what the media wants us control is the negative aspect of it, and I don't like watching that because then that puts my mind there. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we're up with what's going on, and love is what it is. God
Mm-hmm.
is what it is. We gotta get back to that because it hurts. It hurts, man, to see the hatred in here. And I don't get dive into the politics of things and things like that, but it starts with your leader, you know. No, no, I ain't going into it. I ain't going into it. I ain't going into it. I'm not gonna go into it. But it that's where it starts. And we just have to love. It's love. And I'm hoping that everybody in here understands that we just have to love one another. We have to love our neighbor like we love
I
ourselves.
mean, the love is the greatest commandment, right? Like
Yeah.
if you can do everything from a perspective of love, think how much more beautiful this world would be.
Yeah, baby, I know it, baby. That's why I say I love the because we are going in 14.
Hey, what was that saying she said?
Tiff did forgot too because she didn't
She
speak
might
for
not still be
it.
on here. Hey, it was
uh,
something over point though. Oh,
oh,
peace over point.
ooh, I like that. That's better
When
than
you're
perspective
talking
over
about
point.
communication, do you want peace or do you want to have your point made? And so sometimes that means, and now that I'm saying that, I'm not even sure if that was it, but that makes sense right now. Sometimes when you think about, like, if you're in um a heated discussion, right? Sometimes you want to continue to push and push and push and push and push till you get that person to understand your perspective. But
Oh, your point.
or your point, but it's to what
Right.
cost? Right? If you continually pushing and you trying to get them, well, you're not hearing me. This is what I feel. You did this, you did that. Will you have peace?
Mm-mm.
Or is it going to be a continual, let me say this because I
Yeah.
know it's gonna hurt
Oh
them.
yeah. It's gonna keep going back and
Right, you're
forth.
gonna keep having digs. And so it's just understanding when you think about something, do you want your point proven or do you want peace?
So it go back to what Jesus did when he walked, right? He ain't try to force his point, his perspective, his anything on nobody. He didn't force this.
He just spoke it.
He just spoke it.
And you picked it up if you wanted it. And if not, they kept it
They kept it
moving.
moving. And then that's what I feel like where we need to be. All right, listen, this is what I'm trying to get across. And if I don't get it across to you, doesn't mean I don't love you. It just means that I had to start to maybe distance myself a little bit
Right.
from you because we just not at the same spot in the race right now. And there's nothing wrong with you not being in the same spot as somebody else.
That's what it's just, it's sometimes that's growth,
That's
right?
it.
The
That's
people
it.
that the people that you grew up with, you're not going to grow and develop at the
At the same
same
time.
pace.
Nope.
And so sometimes that means you might have to step away for a second.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying like cut all ties unless God say cut all ties, but you got to understand, like we always think, how many times have you seen a star go have issues because they trying to bring everybody with them?
Man. And a lot of
And
them
you
lose that way.
you lose it that way because sometimes not everybody is meant to go on the journey
Nah,
with you.
nah. Everybody can't get on the boat.
And it's just the thing, it's like, okay, let me, sometimes when it comes to this is it, like lessons learned, like, okay, stop carrying the thought, have the conversation. And if the friendship or the relationship doesn't continue, then maybe you weren't supposed to be in it to begin with.
Yeah, man. Listen, that person might have been put in your life for to see certain things. Because I then Trina know this. God places people in our lives for reasons. And it's not for what you think. Because again, we go back and it's for what we think. No, it's for you to learn. It's for you to learn because even in a negative situation, you still are learning.
Mm-hmm.
You still learning in that. So you sit back and you say, all right, why did God place this person in my life? And then you sit back and you look and you're like, oh, so that I won't make that same mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Or their person is off on the same line as I am, but they here, I'm here, I'm trying to get to here. You know, and it's not coincidence, y'all. I'm so far from coincidences or how things circle back around. Listen, and look, I said on a boat, I say everybody can't get on your boat because somebody might get on your inflatable raft with a sharp object, and they're gonna sink your boat. They might not be intentional because they didn't even know they had the sharp object in their back pocket. And when they
Right.
went to sat down, pow! Now everybody in your boat sink.
Yeah.
That's why I said a boat. But again, even if we did a train, somebody might be in there to sabotage your train. I don't care what it is. It could be a plane. It could be. It depends on how you want to travel. It could be you walking. It could be you walking. Somebody might go in there and put what they used to put in there in people's clothes, the little itch
Trackers?
powder.
Oh.
Yeah, somebody might put itch powder in your shoes, and now you ah, you know. So it we have to be intentional on our paying attention
Yeah.
because it's not, oh man, this person is bad for me, let me get away from them. No, learn, and you can still watch that person from a distance. You can still watch this relationship from a distance and see how things pan out, you know. So yeah, that's the only reason why I use the boat, Joe. We ain't been on a boat in a while, babe. I need to hit a cruise or something. But yeah, it's the power of peace over point. Because like I said, a lot of times is the point more important or is your peace more important?
That's the things to remember. But I think, when we talk about peace over point, that sometimes that requires us to have that hard
You got to have that
conversation.
conversation.
And I'm not saying keep pushing that conversation until your point is made, but say your truth
Hmm.
so that you have peace,
Right. Because how that
right?
person take it is how that person take it.
Right. Like you're not communicating, like it's not a debate. Like you're not stating all the facts for the sake of having to prove your point. You're stating the facts so that you have
That's
peace.
it. That's it. That's it.
That's the thing you
Yeah.
got to
It's for
remember.
your peace.
It's for your
Yeah.
peace.
And how that person receives it, how that person takes it, how that person responds is on them. That
It's
don't have
like
nothing to do with you.
you got to think about it. Okay, God, I need to say this. Like before you have a conversation, and let's say it's a conversation maybe potentially a sticky issue or sticky conversation, have prayer first and
Ooh.
say, God, give me the wisdom and the words to say what needs to be said, but allow the other person to hear and have ears open to be able to receive what I say. If you can pray before you have any conversation, one, you take the anxiety out, but two, you now are going into the conversation with love and with the hopes of the other person will also be in a
Also
place
receive
of
that.
love so that they can hear what needs to be
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
It's like Kayla and I was having a comment. We had talked about this last week. We didn't come on last week. The week before, when we were talking about um, how do you know when you're in a conversation of when I'm supposed to respond or am I just listening?
But
Right.
yeah.
And so sometimes you got to think about every conversation you have. Okay, in this moment, listen and then figure out, okay, is this something that I need to respond to? Or are you going to be like, you know what? That's their problem. That's not my truth. That's their problem. And you going about your day.
I,
So
I
again, getting into peace over point.
I will say this happened earlier. I was sitting here really debating, babe. Well, I'm like, do I speak? Do I not speak? What does she want? I'm still trying to figure that out. Like, so y'all understand that what we do it every day. We try to do this every day because just today before we came on here, we was having a conversation and I'm listening because I know what's going on, and I'm still stuck in that rock and that hard place. Like, does she want me to respond? It's still that man thing in me, that father thing in me, the husband thing in me that I responded, but I don't know if that's what you wanted. I don't know if that's and again, that's why this works for us because again, we sit down and hey, babe, did you really? What did you want from me on this one? Because I really want to know. I don't want to like I'm blowing it off. That's far ever that I want you to think that I'm blowing something off. But at the same time, if it's one of those things where you know what, just shut your mouth and listen right now, I can do that too. That's what I want you. Hey, Nick, hey, don't say nothing. Just hear me. just hear me.
We need a code word for that. We got
No, just say it. Just say it. I don't want nothing right now.
like let
Just
me tap your
listen.
leg, Nick.
Just
Like
listen.
close your mouth. Like, I'll be telling the kids, if you can hear my voice, put your hand, like touch your nose. If you can hear my voice, clap your hands. If you can hear
If you
my
gotta
voice,
do
put
that
your
to
hand
me,
up here and
I'm
be
for
quiet.
it.
So if
Listen,
I go to you,
that's how I will be just like this, man. Because I like you said, that's the power of communication. Because I know she said this. I like Trina has said this to me. Let me finish. Let me finish. And
because we look, we get in it, right? We start asking questions, and like the person was just getting ready to tell you that.
yes,
Like it's
yeah.
like when you watching a movie and you guessing, well, I think this gonna happen, but then all of a sudden,
Human nature.
right. So it's just a matter of communicate. Like communications is so important to everything.
Hmm.
That's it right there, Daddy. Sometimes you just have to walk away and let God handle it for you. It's hard to do. That's it.
It's very hard to do because again, like you said, as the father in us, as the male in us, we always want to be Mr. Fix It. And with me not being super handy, with especially with only 9.5 now, I'm not Mr. Handyman anymore. Yeah, I can still do it. It's just I gotta go slow. I gotta go slow. But um, it's great. It's great, man. The whole being able to. I want somebody to chime in on here and just add and just say, the difference from how they changed in their relationship from just 2 years ago. 2 years ago, baby. No, because we almost 2 years on here, right? Maybe.
Have we been on here
I,
2
I, man,
years?
I think we pushing two.
We might be going into our second. Y'all need to go
Yeah,
back
I
and
think we
look.
might be pushing two, but I would say 3, 4, 5 years ago, man. Me and Trina not sitting here. We're not sitting here having this conversation. We're not sitting there doing this. We've been still trying to figure out. Do we call this a
I
podcast?
don't know what
Do we
this
call this
is.
a
We
sit?
having a
Right?
conversation.
We trying to figure out what we call this
Ain't
thing.
got no name. It's an unscripted beautiful
Unscripted
life.
beautiful life. So we starting out that different regime out here. Um,
Different what?
regime, I think that's right. Or genre. There you go, genre. We're gonna say genre. We are creating a different genre of podcasts out
Regine.
here. Regime. What is a regime? It's somebody's name. So,
I cannot with
but
you. I
yeah,
cannot.
yeah, y'all. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to be able to have this and work out our troubles. Because again, man, I'll be quick to tell you, I know that I was a thorn in the side and probably more a thorn in the forehead, but right between the eyes. And every time you cross your eyes, you saw the thorn. That was what I was.
Good
but it
Lord.
it's but it's I mean when you can this is what helps when you can speak your truth and know, all right, I'm not about to take this personal. I know what I was. So it's time for me to make that change. And you really start to do it when you see it start to affect the kids. And that's where it hit me probably the most is I started to see my little man have his anger moments. And then I'm trying still. That's still something we working on with the anger and everything. Because it's not gonna happen overnight, but we're gonna continue pushing. We're gonna continue working. We won't stop. Like we don't expect y'all to ever stop. And nothing that y'all do out here, keep pushing. Don't stop. And like I say, you only become that loser when you can quit on yourself. Don't quit on yourself. Don't give up on yourself.
Tiff says she's
That
this.
was I was really wasn't going to say Tiffany. I was really just asking Tiff. I want this answer from you.
No, I think any kind of effort that we put in, give yourself credit for the changes that you make. Because I think sometimes we think it has to be this big old thing, but if you ain't cursed them out in like a week, that's growth.
Man, what? That's it. That's what you say. If you as a man, right, you usually get cursed out every day, blah 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 blah, and then you get down to only getting cursed out one day out the week, man, growth. Even if it's slow, it's baby steps. Because slow and steady always wins the
Yep.
race. So if I sit here and I try to get Trina to just say she yells and screams at me for whatever reason. Let's say no, I'm gonna tell you what it was about that toothpaste, because I definitely fixed that. If it's not done, it's Nick, babe. I caught him the other day. I'm telling him I'm snitching. Because you're not gonna get on me about it. With the toothpaste, like you know me, squeeze it from the middle. Yeah. Uh if she comes to me out of the week and she used to say it every day, and then she come to me, hey, that toothpaste was squeezed in the middle again. And that was only one time, and I was used to hearing it every day. Man, that's growth. Praise yourself for the little growth.
Yeah, be grateful.
Be grateful because we wanna see the big balloons go and all this, the streamers, all that. Nah, man, celebrate them little wins because
Huh.
them little wins turn to major wins.
Absolutely.
Real.
Absolutely.
And they always say what you win. Yeah, I did, Joe. I did.
Look, he
Yeah,
protected his
yeah, I
grandson.
did. I did. But that's the only way it's gonna work. Mama got to get on him now about this middle toothpaste.
But
You
y'all
good?
got a different toothpaste than I do.
You right. You right. That's probably
So
that's
that's
probably
why.
another reason why I heard it. She gonna use the same toothpaste. Oh man, that's funny. I ain't think about that one. I did not think about that one. But yeah. And another thing that I'm gonna tell you, I don't think we talk about enough is laughter. It's laughter. Smile. I do this still. When I was at Woodmore, I was standing in the middle of the hallway, and I do this with my soccer kids. I was standing in the middle of the hallway, and the funniest thing is that when you say, "Hey, where's your smile?" Most people smile. As soon as you say the word smile, most people smile. And I was standing in the middle of the hallway, any kid, teacher, parent, anybody walk past, "Hey, you left your smile in the car," and they start smiling. I do that with my soccer kids. They come in and they might be late or whatever for whatever's going on with hey, run back to the car real quick and grab that smile for me, man. They come back to practice. And they start smiling. Smiling. I think I did. I think we have talked about laughter because I remember saying this. It takes more muscles to frown your face. And what they used to say, oh, you keep looking like that, you're gonna get stuck. And if you look at some people, right, that they faces scrunched up, they probably really got stuck like that. So laugh, smile. It's therapy. Laughter is therapy.
Yeah.
So if anybody else got anything else to say, put it in the chat. Let me see. Nah, it ain't no such thing. To me, you supposed to laugh till your head hurts. Yeah, for real. And then you'll notice that if you're laughing because your head hurt, after you stop laughing, after a while, your headache go away.
Mhm.
Your headache be gone. I'm like, dang, why when I'm angry and upset, my headache don't go away that fast? Because you was squinting up, you was using the muscles in that forehead that got stuck and your head hurt. But when you smile, man, there ain't no wrinkles up there.
Right.
It's no wrinkles up there. It's only hurting because you was laughing so hard. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Let that laugh out.
That was topic 251, change within the lab, but it's all good. That's the unscripted beautiful life, right? But we
Circle back
definitely,
around.
it always circles back. We thank y'all for joining us tonight on the conversation about the whatever it was, words, but spoken and unspoken.
Mhm.
Have the conversations that need to be had. Say it out of love. Pray before you do, but most importantly, find joy and laughter in everything
Everything.
that you do because we know that's the beautiful part of life, right? So,
Yeah.
thank y'all for joining us. We see y'all next week.
Even if somebody fall out the chair, as long as they not hurt,
Oh,
it's
God.
funny.
Until it's you that's falling out the
I'm
chair.
gonna laugh. I'm gonna get up and laugh.
Have a good one, y'all.